Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. By giving the Browns sister wives, TLC's salary transformed their life. However, it appears that the funds were not as generous as supporters believed. Gwendlyn, the daughter of Christine Woolley, recently made a shocking revelation when she said that her mother, not the network, was the one who paid her. Yes, you read correctly. Reflecting on her early days of filming, Gwen revealed the show. She discussed the real dynamics and revealed some startling information. Is this accurate? What is the point of this? Were the Brown children not paid by TLC? The financial situation of the Browns was improved by Sister Wives. Gwendlyn recently considered how the acquisition of Sister Wives altered her family's financial situation. "We just got thrown into fame and thrown into money," she said. The famous child acknowledged that after TLC's money started to come into her household, her life became much easier. Gwen described how it was a blessing for her to stop requiring and wanting things. "Life is much easier for a kid who isn't going hungry," she said. Gwen acknowledged that she was very into the show in its early days due to its money component. This is because, prior to being offered the show, the Browns were indeed in a poverty situation. However, Gwen's perspective has now shifted, and it seems that she no longer finds the thing that benefited her interesting. Claims made by Gwen in Sister Wives: the Brown children were not paid by TLC. The Browns' lives were undoubtedly altered by the enormous success of the Sister Wives television program. However, it seems that the children did not receive TLC's funding directly. The network only paid the show's parents, not the kids, Gwen recently told Teen Vogue. Although the children were not paid during their early years, she questioned whether the franchise did or didn't expect the adults to do so. But Christine made the decision to compensate her kids. She used the savings to set aside a certain amount per day or half-day of camera time for her kids. The Brown children started earning money from their appearances on the show in this way. Gwen went on to say that she had no idea how much money she and her siblings received from the show. Gwen was positive of one thing, though: it certainly hasn't been a fair share. She may not be as interested in filmmaking as she once was because of this. The famous child had previously come to terms with the fact that filming was a normal aspect of her life. She thinks it's a little weird, though, and no longer likes it that way. Additionally, a TLC employee informed the cited source that compensation is often managed in accordance with contractual obligations, which are relevant labor laws and regulations. Therefore, rather than paying the children, the show used to compensate the parents of the Brown households. What are your thoughts on this? Please share your thoughts in the comments area. Along with her father, Cody Brown, his 4 wives, and her 17 siblings, 23-year-old Gwendlyn made an appearance on the TLC show. She is now reflecting on her unique childhood and the advantages and disadvantages of growing up on reality TV, 15 years after cameras began recording their life as a polygamist Mormon household. Several children of reality TV stars, including Gwendlyn, recently talked about growing up and adolescence in front of the camera in an interview with Teen Vogue. In 2010, Sister Wives made its debut. Gwendlyn, who was 8 years old at the time, first thought it was nice that the movie's crew was involved in her family's lives. "As a child, I was really into it," she remarked. There were more concrete advantages to the family TLC series than just exploiting her newfound fame as a reality star to win over students at school. The Brown family was brought out of a poverty situation by filming Sister Wives, according to Gwendlyn, the daughter of Cody and Christine Brown, the third wife. "We were suddenly thrust into stardom and wealth," she added, "and I stopped needing and wanting things. A child who isn't hungry has an easier life. At first, it was really a blessing." Prior to becoming well-known on television and in tabloids, Cody and his wife were candid about the family's financial difficulties. In their 2012 book, Becoming Sister Wives, Cody said, "Our biggest struggles have been financial." Christine, Gwendlyn's mother, concurred that money was extremely tight. "No matter how hard we worked, we never had enough money to pay the bills," said Janelle Brown, Cody's second wife. Although Gwendlyn did not receive her fair share, she did receive some money from her stint on Sister Wives. The Brown family's financial status was generally improved by sister wives' wages, but according to Gwendlyn, none of that money was going directly to the kids. Only the parents were paid by the network, she clarified. We weren't paid, but I'm not sure if they expected the parents to pay us kids. Gwendlyn noted that Christine later made the decision to let her kids a certain amount per day or half day of camera time. Her earnings from her years on the show, however, certainly haven't been a fair share. Christine told the magazine that although the Brown children weren't initially paid directly, the family did set aside funds for them to purchase automobiles and attend college. It's not just Gwendlyn and her siblings who haven't been paid for their time filming reality TV. Noelle Robinson, the daughter of Cynthia Bailey, star of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, claimed that despite being honest with the cameras about her sexuality and personal life, she was not compensated for her appearance on the Bravo series. An additional former reality star has criticized her parents for permitting her early years to be used for entertainment purposes. Jill Duggar appeared on TLC's 19 Kids and Counting on alongside her parents, Jim Bob Duggar and Michelle Duggar, as well as her 18 siblings. She claims that the day before her wedding to Derek Dillard, her father deceived her into signing a contract for the show in her 2023 memoir, Counting the Cost. She said that the $175,000 she and her husband eventually obtained from her father was a small portion of what she was truly due. Prior to its cancellation in 2021, Jim Bob earned almost $8 million from his family's reality program, according to Jill. Weekly Shorts for Us. Gwendlyn, the daughter of Cody and Christine Brown, is providing fresh perspectives on growing up in front of the TLC cameras. During their adolescence and beyond, Gwendlyn, 23, and other offspring of reality stars talked about their experiences filming in a Teen Vogue piece that was released on Wednesday, May 14th. When she was younger, Gwendlyn acknowledged that she was super into the Sister Wives filming process. We were suddenly thrust into stardom and wealth. She hinted that Sister Wives, which is currently running its 19th season on TLC, provided her polygamous family with the wherewithal to escape a poverty situation at the start of the show. And I stopped wanting and needing things, she told the outlet. A child who isn't hungry has an easier life. At first, it was really a blessing. But according to Gwendlyn, she and her 17 siblings were not paid directly. She said that the parents were the only ones paid by the network. We weren't paid, but I'm not sure if they expected the parents to pay us kids. Gwendlyn claims that her mother stepped in. The decision to give her children a certain amount per day or half day of camera time was made by Christine, who has 6 children with Cody. Gwendlyn stated that it certainly hasn't been a fair share, even if she is unsure of her actual earnings over the years. While refusing to discuss the details of contract agreements, a TLC representative informed Teen Vogue that compensation is handled in accordance with contractual commitments and applicable labor laws and regulations. Although Christine acknowledged that monies were allocated for the children's vehicles and college expenses, she acknowledged that Gwendlyn and her siblings were not paid at the start of the show. As they manage several lives, Cody and his relationships with his wives Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robin Brown are the main focus of Sister Wives. However, the family dynamic has changed in recent years, and the resulting fallout has been documented by cameras. After more than 25 years of marriage, Christine was the first of Cody's wives to depart, announcing their divorce in 2021. She married David Woolley in 2023, and the two have since moved on. Notably, Gwendlyn did not attend the wedding. Later, Cody's relationships with Janelle and Mary dissolved, leaving him legally married to Robin alone. Gwendlyn hasn't held back when discussing her feelings on her parents' divorce. She told Teen Vogue, "I thought they ought to have separated for a while. When I was a child and I witnessed them fighting, my first reaction was, I hope they get a divorce. Who of the children believes that?" Gwendlyn has a fresh outlook on living in the spotlight over 10 years after her family was initially highlighted on reality TV. "I'm becoming less fond of it. This is my normal," she replies, referring to the past. "But it's strange now that I'm thinking, this doesn't have to be my normal." Over the years, TLC has produced numerous reality shows depicting ultra-conservative households. One of them, 19 Kids and Counting On, is about Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's 19 children. It includes their parenting styles and the subsequent marriages of some of them. Another reality program with a large family because of Kody Brown and his 4 wives is Sister Wives. However, some children from the same reality series, as well as John and Kate Plus 8 and Little People Big World, have come forward to talk about how their parents manipulated their salaries. See their startling remarks by continuing to read. Jill Duggar has been candid about Jim Bob's TLC antics, so we can count on. During the episode, Jill has been candid about how her father, Jim Bob, never paid her what she deserved. After separating from her parents, the former cast member of Counting On started to speak out. Jill claims that even though she appeared on the show for several years, she was never compensated. According to her, they were tricked into believing that the show had always benefited them because of the trips they were making. She went on to say that they felt the show had a significant effect on their financial situation because they could purchase frozen pizzas. Jill also thinks the show brought in over $8 million for the family. Later, she and Derek filed a lawsuit to collect their alleged proceeds from the show, and Jim Bob ultimately gave them $175,000. Sister Wives Gwendlyn explains how everything works out for the parents. In addition to Jill, Sister Wives star Gwendlyn Brown has also spoken up about how the reality program didn't really help them. Gwendlyn acknowledges that TLC helped her parents escape poverty, even if the network merely paid them. She tells fans that the children were never paid, but she wasn't sure if TLC knew if Kody and his wife would pay their kids. However, Gwendlyn stated that although her mother, Christine, eventually gave them some money, she feels it was insufficient to make up for all the time and freedom they gave up for the program. Hannah Gosselin and Jeremy Roloff have discussed TLC pay. Additionally, Little People, Big World star Jeremy Roloff has indicated that he has never received a reasonable salary from the program. He stated in a 2023 Q&A that he never received royalties from the show and that their most recent payment was made 6 years prior. Isabel, Jacob's wife, asserted that TLC would never compensate children for reruns. From 2007 to 2009, John and Kate Plus 8 was another popular TLC program. Pennsylvania's child labor laws were amended in large part because of the Gosselin children. Hannah Gosselin was able to pay for her college as a result. Additionally, John Gosselin has been open about how his children received adequate remuneration from the show. Sister Wives bombshell. Gwendlyn Brown says Christine paid the kids, not TLC. What this means for the Brown family legacy. In a shocking twist that has left Sister Wives fans reeling, Gwendlyn Brown, daughter of Kody and Christine Brown, has publicly claimed that it wasn't TLC who paid the Brown children for their time on the reality show, but Christine herself, who made sure her kids were compensated. This revelation has sparked outrage, deepened the fanbase's ongoing criticism of Kody Brown, and shed harsh light on what many now call the emotional and financial exploitation of the children growing up under the cameras. The claim completely rewrites the assumed dynamics of the Brown family's involvement with TLC and calls into question not just where the money went, but how it was distributed and, more importantly, who truly looked out for the well-being of the kids when the cameras weren't rolling. As the story unfolds, Gwendlyn's candid confession is more than just tea. It's a turning point in the legacy of Sister Wives, showing that Christine may have been the unsung hero all along, while Kody and TLC turned a blind eye to the young lives being shaped and possibly scarred by reality TV. For years, Sister Wives has portrayed the Brown family as a united front, documenting the ups and downs of polygamous life in Flagstaff, Las Vegas, and beyond. But behind the carefully edited storylines, Gwendlyn's comments suggest a much different truth, one in which the children, who were integral to the show's success, weren't even paid by the network. Viewers assumed that TLC, which profited enormously from the drama and dysfunction, compensated all cast members fairly. Yet according to Gwendlyn, the kids saw none of that network money directly. Instead, it was Christine, the third wife to leave Kody, who took it upon herself to make sure her children didn't walk away from a decade of filming empty-handed. This casts Christine in a completely new light, not just as the fun, warm mother viewers adored, but as a fiercely protective parent who made sure her kids got something in return for sacrificing their privacy. The idea that the kids were unpaid is both heartbreaking and infuriating. They didn't just make cameo appearances, they were part of the emotional fabric of the show. We watched them grow up, deal with school struggles, navigate family rifts, celebrate milestones, and even process their parents' divorces. Their most intimate moments were aired to millions of viewers. The camera didn't turn away during birthdays, breakdowns, or major family drama. So for Gwendlyn to say that TLC didn't provide any financial compensation for the children is a slap in the face, not just to the Browns, but to reality TV ethics as a whole. It paints the network as exploitative and the Brown patriarch, Cody, as complicit. How could a father allow his children to be filmed for over a decade without ensuring they were paid for their time? According to Gwendlyn, he didn't.
Christine did.
And that changes everything. Even more eyebrow-raising is the broader implication that Christine might have used her share of TLC earnings, or funds from her other endeavors, to ensure her kids were taken care of financially. That's no small feat for a mother of 6. Christine has always been open about the financial struggles of living in a plural family, particularly when the Browns split their income across multiple households. But this revelation suggests that she not only put her children first emotionally, but financially too, even when the system and Cody didn't. It adds to the growing public perception that Christine was the real backbone of the family, while Cody focused on his relationship with Robin and let the other branches of the family tree wither. Fans aren't surprised that Christine was the one to step up. Since her split from Cody, she's emerged as a fan favorite and a symbol of empowered womanhood, especially for women leaving difficult relationships. But this newest detail from Gwendlyn adds yet another layer to that narrative. Christine didn't just walk away, she protected her kids the entire way through. It suggests that while Cody was off making decisions for his preferred household with Robin, Christine was handling the real-world logistics of being a responsible parent in a chaotic, polygamous TV household. And she did it quietly, without blasting TLC, without demanding credit, and without using it as a talking point to boost her own profile post-divorce. Gwendlyn's revelation has also reopened a broader conversation about children on reality TV and whether networks have a moral, or even legal, obligation to protect and compensate them. Reality TV has long operated in a gray area, especially when it comes to minors. While scripted child actors are often protected by laws like the Coogan Act, which requires a portion of their earnings be placed in trust, reality TV kids don't always enjoy the same safeguards. With Gwendlyn's statement, fans are now demanding transparency from TLC. Where did the money go? Was Cody pocketing it? Were the wives getting an equal share? Why weren't the kids protected from being unpaid labor on a show built on their lives? These aren't just idle questions. They strike at the ethical heart of a franchise that has built an empire on intimate access to a polygamous family. The backlash toward Cody in the wake of Gwendlyn's comment has been swift and unforgiving. Long accused of favoritism and emotionally neglecting his other wives and their children, Cody now finds himself at the center of yet another credibility crisis. If he truly allowed his kids to work for free on a massive reality show while he and Robin enjoyed the profits, fans argue this crosses the line from narcissism into negligence. On social media, former supporters have turned sour, accusing him of failing to protect the very children he claimed to raise under principled leadership. The hashtag #PayTheBrownKids even began trending as fans demanded retroactive compensation for the young Browns who sacrificed their childhoods in front of the camera lens. Meanwhile, Gwendlyn's boldness in speaking out also underscores a generational shift in the Brown family. The younger children, many now adults, are no longer afraid to challenge the official family narrative. From Peyton's controversial live streams to Leon's boundary setting, and now Gwendlyn's financial bombshell, the next generation of Browns is reclaiming their voice and reshaping how sister wives will be remembered. They aren't blindly defending Cody or playing into TLC's glossy portrayals. They're telling the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. And perhaps that truth, though messy, is what fans needed all along. Christine has not officially commented on Gwendlyn's statement, but fans believe her actions speak for themselves. She's long demonstrated a quiet strength, both on and off the show. Whether she was managing the chaos of a full household, making homemade birthday cakes, or packing up her life to move to Utah, Christine never sought glory. She just did what had to be done. And if Gwendlyn is right, Christine also made sure that her kids got paid for their sacrifices, even if no one else stepped up. In contrast, TLC has remained silent. No statement, no clarification, no comment about whether Gwendlyn's accusation is accurate or whether they plan to investigate or change policies. And that silence is telling. It adds fuel to the firestorm brewing online, where fans are now calling for greater transparency, ethics reforms, and financial accountability for all reality TV families.